Thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, over this last few weeks, the Executive has been able to roll back some of the restrictions that were imposed in March during the coronavirus lockdown. We've been able to do that because the rate of transmission for COVID-19, the R rate, has been driven down, and the number of new cases is now very small. And this has happened because the vast majority of you have stuck closely to the public health advice on how to keep yourselves and others safe from COVID-19. That in turn has suppressed the spread of this lethal virus within the wider community. So today the Health Minister has advised that updated letters are issuing to those people who are currently shielding. This will confirm that individuals are to pause shielding as of the 31st of July, given the current low levels of virus transmission. In the meantime, from the 6th of July, people who are shielding can meet up to 6 people outside, and those shielding and living alone will be able to form a support bubble with one other household. The Executive has today reached another new milestone in our journey towards the new normal. The ability for outdoor visits from families and friends has been a positive step forward. However, we have also been determined to see progress on indoor visits too. We've addressed it many times at this press conference. So this afternoon, the Executive has agreed that groups of up to 6 people, not from the same household, will be able to meet indoors from tomorrow. It is recommended that social distancing should still be maintained, along with other mitigations such as ventilation and good hand hygiene. The Executive has wanted to promote family-friendly arrangements, and this will also be of assistance in relation to informal childcare. This was the one relaxation remaining outstanding from the initial stage of our recovery plan, and I know many of you have been desperate in recent weeks to visit your family and friends inside their homes, and you'll very much welcome this announcement and want to thank you for your patience and abiding with us. However, as positive as this step is, all of us in the Executive cannot stress enough that the battle against COVID-19 is still very much ongoing, and we all need to remain vigilant. Over this last 3 months, we have weathered a particularly vicious storm. NISRA figures demonstrate that coronavirus has now been linked to over 800 deaths in Northern Ireland, and of course the figure worldwide is more than 460,000 deaths. We've had to deal with a novel coronavirus whose behaviours are still not fully understood and whose symptoms can vary amongst those unlucky enough to contact it. Some people have been fortunate to have had little or no symptoms. However, for others, the consequences have been severe, with some people regarded as healthy being forced into intensive care beds and indeed onto assisted ventilation. So COVID-19 has exacted a heavy toll on our elderly and on staff who have bravely treated patients in hospitals and in care homes. And we have done well to avoid our health service being engulfed by COVID-19 like other countries, but the threat has not gone. And in the absence of vaccine, COVID-19 still has the capacity to wreak havoc again, as unfortunately we're seeing in Beijing in recent days, where they've discovered a dramatic rise in infection at hotspots, and also in Germany, and as we look at North Wales as well, to see the clusters that have developed there. So complacency is a luxury that we cannot afford, and as we exercise recently restored opportunities like visiting places of worship or going to closed shops or playing sport or meeting up with others outdoor, we still need to implement the guidance on social distancing and on hand hygiene. So in the coming days, when we're able to go to a hotel or a restaurant or a visitor attraction, or most definitely a hairdresser's, we will need to adapt our behaviour and be conscious of the capacity of the virus to flare up again with fatal consequences. So we do owe it to ourselves, our family, our friends and our neighbours to keep following the health advice, because the communal spirit our community has demonstrated at the outset of this health emergency has stood us in good stead. We often stand here and say how proud we are of the people that we represent. I am incredibly proud of the way we have handled this COVID-19 crisis, protecting ourselves and the wider community, suppressing the virus, but taking risks with our safety does not help anyone in our community. So we will continue on our step-by-step process. We will continue to unlock the other restrictions that currently remain in place, but the lesson of this past few months is very clear for us all. We need to stay safe and we need to save lives. Michelle.